Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking the highly technical Philsan feed reference standards and, well, translating them. We're going to take a fascinating look at the hidden ingredients inside the food that our food eats. Think about it for a second. Every glass of milk, every omelet, every steak you eat, it all starts right at the feed trough. But modern agriculture? It relies on a whole lot more than just tossing some grain into a bucket. We're going to decode exactly what goes into commercial animal diets. And spoiler alert, it is an absolute symphony of science.
Okay, so let's dive right in by asking a pretty simple question. When farmers raise the livestock that we all rely on, what exactly are they putting into the trough to solve massive agricultural challenges? Raising animals at scale means facing some incredible hurdles. We're talking about ensuring they get enough calories, preventing microscopic diseases, and honestly, just making sure the feed doesn't turn into a solid brick of mold sitting in a silo somewhere. The answer to all of these challenges? It lies in a very specific set of tools.
And those tools are known as feed additives. Now, I know sometimes the word chemical or additive makes people a little nervous, right? But far from being scary chemicals, these feed additives are actually precise, highly technological, and medical solutions. They're carefully regulated formulations designed to do a few critical things: keep animals healthy, optimize their growth, and ultimately keep our global food supply secure and affordable.
To make sense of all this complex alphabet soup, we've grouped these ingredients into 4 simple problem-solving categories. We've got 1. Boosting digestion and gut health, 2. Fighting disease and parasites, 3. Preserving quality and freshness, and 4th, the finishing touches.
Let's kick things off with Challenge 1, boosting digestion and gut health.
You know, just like us, livestock often need a little help breaking down their massive meals and absorbing nutrients efficiently. If an animal can't properly digest its feed, well, all that nutritional value goes completely to waste. So our very first digestive tool is the acidifier. These are specific chemical products added directly to the feed to decrease the pH in the animal's stomach. It basically acts like a specialized digestive aid, creating the absolute perfect acidic environment. And by lowering that pH, acidifiers don't just help break down tough feed, they also naturally modulate the microflora in the GI tract. Basically, they make it a super hostile environment for bad bacteria.
Take AcidoGut for example. This isn't just abstract science. It's a very practical, jug-sized solution used on poultry farms every single day. Farmers actually mix this stuff directly into the drinking water. Why? To optimize gut health and drastically reduce pathogen loads in their flocks. It is just an incredibly efficient way to keep literally thousands of birds healthy all at once.
Now, what's really fascinating here is how perfectly this mirrors human health trends. I mean, you've definitely seen these terms in the supplement aisle at the grocery store. Prebiotics are non-digestible substances that essentially act as food for the good bacteria already living in the gut. Probiotics, on the flip side, are the live microbial additives themselves, those beneficial bugs that balance the intestinal flora. It's exactly like the active cultures in the yogurt or kombucha sitting in your fridge right now.
To round out our digestion category, farmers use enzymes. These are biological catalysts, chemical products that act like tiny keys unlocking nutrients the animal just couldn't access on its own. For instance, some grains contain really complex carbohydrates that are incredibly tough to digest. By adding specific enzymes into the mix, farmers ensure the animal gets the absolute maximum energy possible from every single bite.
Notice how a product like Revabio Advance is marketed. It's framed as this high-tech revolution designed to squeeze every last ounce of metabolizable energy out of the feed. They're actually calling it the next generation of enzyme. It really shows you just how advanced the science of animal nutrition has become. It's all about profitability, reliability, and of course, sustainability through much better digestion.
Moving right along to Challenge 2, fighting disease and parasites.
Farm animals are constantly exposed to dangerous microscopic threats, and without intervention, those diseases can wipe out entire herds or flocks almost overnight. One of the most common threats actually comes from within, internal parasites. Enter enthelmintics. These are specialized drugs used strictly to rid animals of internal parasites. You probably know them by their much more common name, dewormers. If you've ever had to deworm a household dog or cat, you immediately understand the critical importance of enthelmintics in keeping large agricultural herds healthy and comfortable. In practice, this looks like a simple, easily dispensable packet of piperazine 45%. Because, let's be real, rather than trying to individually medicate hundreds of animals one by one, a powder like this is ready to be efficiently mixed directly into the communal feed or water supply. It ensures the whole group gets the protection they need against parasitic worms in one go.
Now, a really crucial distinction to make here is the target of these preventative additives. Antibiotics are chemicals produced by microbial fermentation or synthesis that possess bacteriostatic or bactericidal properties. Basically, they're used at subtherapeutic or therapeutic levels strictly to fight off bacterial infections. Mold inhibitors, on the other hand, are chemical preservatives that fight off completely different enemies, fungal developments that can actually toxify the feed itself. We also see some incredibly specific defenses deployed depending entirely on the animal. For instance, ornistat is an anti-malarial used specifically for preventing and treating malaria in game fowl. Compare that to corid, which is a coccidistat, used to control coccidiosis, a truly devastating parasitic intestinal disease in cattle. It just highlights how targeted this feed menu really has to be, right? A cow's medical needs are vastly different from a rooster's. Which brings us to challenge 3, preserving quality and freshness.
Think about it. Keeping the animal healthy internally doesn't matter at all if the feed spoils in those massive storage silos before it can even be eaten. Exposed to shifting temperatures and humidity, well, it's an environment just begging for rot. So using a rapid-fire approach, farmers deploy a trifecta of protective agents. They use anti-caking agents to keep the feed flowing smoothly. They use those mold inhibitors we just mentioned to stop dangerous fungal rot from taking hold in damp conditions. And they use antioxidants to prevent rancidity and protect fragile polyunsaturated fatty acids and vitamins from being destroyed by a process called peroxidation.
Let's look a little closer at those anti-caking agents, which are often considered a huge summer staple. If you've ever tried to pour sugar from a bowl on a hot, super humid day and gotten a solid, rock-hard brick instead, yeah, then you understand exactly why anti-caking agents are an absolute necessity. Now just imagine that solid brick is inside a 3-story tall commercial feed silo. It would be a total operational disaster. Anti-caking agents keep everything moving the way it should.
And to stop the crucial fats in the feed from going violently rancid, bulk antioxidants like ethoxyquin powder are mixed right in. They essentially act as an invisible chemical shield over the feed. They lock in the freshness, stabilize the fats, and ensure that those delicate, fat-soluble vitamins actually make it into the animal system completely intact, rather than just breaking down in storage.
Finally, we arrive at Challenge 4, the finishing touches.
This category covers all those fascinating extras that focus on the physical quality of the feed itself and ultimately the final visual quality of the food that you and I end up consuming. It includes flavorings and sweeteners to literally encourage the animals to eat more by improving the taste. It includes pellet binders to keep the pelleted food durable so it doesn't just crumble into useless dust. It includes pigmenters. These give chicken skin and egg yolks that rich, healthy yellow color that consumers absolutely love. And it includes nutritional metabolites and hormones to alter metabolism and support really robust growth. The sheer diversity of what goes into a modern trough is just wild when you think about it. On one hand, you have literal flavor enhancers, sweeteners formulated simply to make the meal tastier and way more appetizing for cows, and right next to it, you have highly complex, scientifically engineered fibrolytic enzymes unlocking cellular energy. It is quite literally culinary arts meeting cutting-edge biochemistry. So the very next time you sit down to enjoy a simple glass of milk, a piece of chicken, or your morning eggs, take a quick second to consider the absolute symphony of science, preservation, medicine, and nutrition that went into creating it. We've demystified the menu of livestock today, but it really leaves us with a fascinating question to ponder. If a single animal's meal requires this much invisible technology, what else is hiding in the incredible mechanics of modern agriculture feeding our world?